Hi, ni hao, hola, annyeong. Welcome to the series Cooking for Two, where I share with you my cooking and talk about things. Shall we get started? To kick off this series, the topic I'd like to share today is about food. When I was little, I remembered waking up to fresh fruits for breakfast most days. I was living in Taiwan at the time, so there would be a platter of freshly cut tropical fruits like pineapples, mangoes, guava, and my favorite, wax apple. I promise you it tastes better than it sounds. There would be milk that was freshly delivered every morning in those old school glass bottles, and occasionally some toast or bread of some sort. When I get to school, I would take out my tin bento container and put it with the rest so that it could be steamed by lunchtime. I don't remember elementary school in Taiwan, but I always remember the image of picking up my hot tin bento and watching the steam come out as I open it. By evening time, when dinner rolled around, I'd take a 5-minute walk over to my paternal grandma's house to have dinner. The road to our house was always a mini adventure. I passed by the playground that had my favorite concrete slide. I was always tempted to go play, but I knew I was walking towards something much more exciting. But before I could reach my grandma's house, there was an obstacle in the way. She lived on top of a hill, and the uneven stairs outdoors were no joke. Rain or shine, I would walk up those stairs. I was always greeted by a barking dog from another house at the first brake stop. It would terrify me, but with my eyes on the prize and dinner on my mind, I would continue on. With 2 more stops, I would arrive at the top of the hill feeling tired, accomplished, and ready to eat. Everyone who enters this house always greeted my grandma with an exhale saying, "Hi, Amma," while catching their breath from walking up those stairs as we enter the house and are met with delightful aromas coming from the kitchen by the entrance. I was born in the States and spent majority of my time in California, but my most prominent food memories are of the ones I had in Taiwan. Growing up in the States, I had difficulties at home, but food was my constant. I grew up in a culture where no matter what was going on, food was there as a bridge of communication and connection. Sometimes it was both good and bad. So food became my stability and my friend. With many cooks in the house who all had their own styles and specialty, I learned a lot in passing with an unknown pressure to one day live up to the family reputation of being good cooks. From my maternal grandfather's skills of French cuisine, he learned during his time as a busboy turned host in a restaurant in the East Coast back in the 60s, to my auntie's Mediterranean style and my mother's traditional Taiwanese cooking taught by her mother. Some of my favorite foods when I was in elementary school were oyako donburi that my grandfather would make, mayoji, and mashed potatoes and falafels. That is an interesting combo when I say it out loud. Anyways, there was a falafel shop nearby my school. When my auntie would pick me up, we'd stop by and get fresh falafels and sometimes with pita bread. The first bite was always piping hot, but first grade me had little patience to wait for the deliciousness of a fresh falafel. Since I attended that school for only a year, I no longer had the falafels, and the memory faded into the background without me ever knowing the name of it until I was in my 20s. For a long time, I would call it the thing my auntie gets for me by school that was like a meatball but crunchy and green on the inside. The memories I had with my family members always revolved around food, and that was how I learned to bond and connect. So in my early 20s, I moved to Hawaii for college. This was my first time living on my own, and during my 2 years there, I had the chance to cook for myself on a more consistent basis. Recipes that I saw countless times over, I tried to recreate, but it never turned out the same. The only thing I did was leave a mess in the kitchen. During those 2 years, I managed to learn the most basic recipes, but I definitely miss the home-cooked meals. Homesick blues faded away when I moved to South Korea in 2015. I was not any better at cooking, but the food culture there was so new and rich. I had the best time experiencing living in Seoul through food. From being an exchange student on a college budget, trying new foods with my friends, to having fried chicken regularly every Friday night with my coworkers as an English teacher, and all of the delicious adventures in between. If you've ever been to South Korea, you know? Food was happiness, it was joy. It was to me how to enjoy life. Food for every occasion and every mood. It was there for me, and I thought nothing would ever change, and that's how it'd always be. Fast forward to 2020. When I returned to the States, I met someone that changed my relationship with food. Someone who didn't view food as a friend or one of life's greatest enjoyments, but as fuel and sustenance. It was my boyfriend. Our food world could not be any more different. It was new to interact with someone who wasn't on the same food frequency as I was, who didn't crave or enjoy food the same way I did. I was left a little confused since that was how I learned to connect and create memories with others. Slowly, I decided to show him what food could be about, to let him into my food world as he let me into his music world. At the start of our relationship, we lived an hour and a half away from each other. So on the weekends when we were together, I would get into the kitchen and try to make something that I wanted to share with him. From my favorite childhood dishes to things he's never tried before. That was a challenge for him to try new foods, but it was more of a challenge for me to learn how to cook for someone. I had my trial and errors. Some were major successes with a few absolute fails. It felt like I was consistently trying things outside of my comfort zone. But to me, it was a labor of love because I love seeing the reaction of the first bite. The satisfaction of one's taste buds in the light, taking in the aroma, the texture, the flavor, and just enjoying every bite, every moment of the dish. Looking back, it was pretty awesome to be able to share with my boyfriend all of the things surrounding food, to experience the joy of cooking with my love. Learning how to cook has deepened my relationship and understanding with food. I know that it is the way I enjoy sharing my love and connecting with others. Food is my love language, and cooking is the method I use to express my love. Over these last few years, I've been cooking every day. I really enjoy the process of cooking. To me, it is a creation that you put together with the enjoyment of being able to eat it at the end. Some days I do feel stagnant. I find myself wanting to dig deeper. I want to deepen my skills. my appreciation for cooking and understanding my love language more so in other ways. I think this is why I decided to start recording my cooking, to document and give myself a chance to cultivate my skills further while sharing it with you all. I have many ideas on how I would love to broaden my love language. Some are to share food history, culture, experiences, and personal stories. Or one day, this is a big dream, but running a farm to table. It feels crazy to just say it out loud, but I am putting it out there. I am grateful to be able to use this skill and share my joy through cooking. This is my small happy choice for today. That's all I have to share for now. Enjoy the rest of the cooking video. Bye.